whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. I'm attorney Gavin M. Richard. Check out my latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jell-O, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn that attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format.
Girl, come on. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. A little Earth, Wind, and Fire vibe right there. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents on my channel, GBoo2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're blessed and doing safe. Shout out to all of you who've shown me love. I love you back. Girl, you know I love you back. A little Aaron Neville for you, baby. A little Aaron Neville for you, baby. Telling it like it is. I believe you're still stuck with me. Because I'm your guide. Girl, you know I'm your guide. Tell it like it is. All right, I was listening to that before the show started. So forgive my foolish pride. Yeah, we're gonna bring on this brother. He comes on every Thursdays, and no, he doesn't sell Muslim pies. No fries. He's the author of The Man Crisis and the John Haynes series. So we need him. Please don't cry.
Here's my brother Sean James. Let's bring on Sean James. What's going on, brother?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You can tell I'm enjoying myself with my impressions tonight. So, excuse me 1 second. Sorry. Sorry, at the end of that. All right. You can pick up Sean's books on Amazon.com. Sean, do you have anything you want to promote right quick?
All right. The pre-order for The Woman Crisis is now available on Amazon.com. It's available on Smashwords, Barnes & Noble, the iBookstore, and Google Play. So if you want to get the companion to 2018's critically acclaimed book, The Man Crisis, you can pre-order the digital version on all of the online platforms right now by heading over there.
All right. And while we're at it, why don't you all support my channel? Subscribe to at the Facebook page at Commonwealth Cos. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. is available on Kindle. Why don't you go ahead and purchase that? You can also um, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That's another way to support our channel and support our channel through our donations we have here that we go through Cash App and the PayPal. I really appreciate it. Uh, we have several topics we want to get into. Oh, I couldn't forget Nonnies. NonniesCreoleBlends.com. Ladies and gentlemen, please order you some good old-fashioned Creole seasoning. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nonnies goes great with every dish. I appreciate all your love and support. So Sean, why don't we go ahead and get into it? Has been a crazy week. The world is going further and further down into the abyss with some of the things that have taken place. But one of the things I want to talk about, what the hell is going on in Memphis? Now, you talk about the man crisis. This happened today. There was a shooting. It's been a series of mass shootings that took place recently in the great city of Memphis. And I want to shout out two people, Judge Joe Brown, and I want to shout out Brother Ron Hurd. He did a live stream for about, it wasn't a long live stream, but I think it was about 40 or 50 minutes, where he talked about how has the city of Memphis lost power and what's going on, the fall of, on Dana's show, they were talking about the fall of Memphis. So they had that Kelly, this guy by the name, I'm going to pull his picture up. This shooting that took place. Now you had the teacher that was abducted, who was the heiress billionaire, and they found that she was murdered. Now you got this going on here. Ezekiel D. Kelly is accused of killing and shooting 7 people. On Wednesday, September 7th, Memphis police issued an alert to be on the lookout for an armed and dangerous man who police said started a shooting rampage across Memphis from around 4:30 p.m. Police confirmed that Ezekiel D. Kelly, 19, has been taken into custody and that he had an active warrant for a first-degree murder. According to the officials, the shelter in place has been lifted, but are asking people to avoid the area of Ivan Road and Hodge Road. So they actually had an active at around 9:15. They asked people in that area to stay indoors. By 9:28 p.m., they announced that Kelly had been taken to custody. Now, unfortunately, one of the things, sadly, that happened is that they stated that Kelly was shooting, and he recorded his shooting and killing people allegedly on Facebook Live. And we're going to go ahead right now. I'm going to play a video. I'm not playing that actual video, but we're going to play this video that was uploaded on yesterday, about 14 hours ago, from KAIT 8 Channel 8, and I want to claim fair use. Yeah, it's fair use. Now I want to play this. Because I don't want a copyright strike.
So again, just to give you some perspective, this is a breaking news situation that we've been following for several hours now. Memphis police now have 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly that you see here in their custody. He was arrested in Whitehaven near Ivan and Hodge. And this has been an active situation, to say the least. To give you some perspective on how busy they've been, the involvement of their work. South Haven police involved as well. And that is because this initially started, excuse me, according to Memphis police, we are told Kelly was in, if you've been hanging with us, you will recall, I was saying something about a gray Toyota. Well, Memphis police tell us that was the vehicle that he was in the beginning of their pursuit of him in this shooting rampage. He was in a gray Toyota. He went to South Haven in that vehicle to the raceway on I-55 and State Line Road. Law enforcement spotted him there at the raceway. He then ditched that vehicle and stole another vehicle, jumped in a Dodge. This was no carjacking. South Haven police telling us no carjacking, but stole a Dodge Challenger. And that is the vehicle that he was captured in once he came back to Memphis. All right. So that's the timeline to give you how this individual has been on the move. As you look live now in Whitehaven, where Kelly, 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly, actually was captured. And this has been a very busy, very active scene and night and work for Memphis police, if you will, because of all the details that we just mentioned. Again, this all started around 4:30 this afternoon when we were hearing reports of multiple shootings across the city. And this live look now, as you see crime scene tape there. What we do know, still working to get a lot more information for you as soon as we can from Memphis police, but the most important information we can pass along to you now is that they have captured the suspect that they were looking for, 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly, and he was wanted on first-degree murder. He already had an active warrant for first-degree murder. And again, Memphis police captured him going on 30 minutes ago. About now, they're in Whitehaven. You're looking live now in Midtown. We have had full complete team coverage of various locations here for you. And this live scene you're looking at now, this is in Midtown. This is Poplar and Evergreen, sort of in that area where we've had multiple reporters. This was where Kelly, according to Memphis police, actually crashed, wrecked out in a vehicle.
Let me stop it there. I want to play, if I can, Sean, the press conference from the mayor, because apparently this Ezekiel Kelly had a previous arrest charge conviction for an assault. It was dropped to from an attempted first-degree murder to an assault, and they're saying that the mayor obviously was upset because he had allegations of aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, and firearms charges. So he was his charge was downgraded to aggravated assault charge in April of 2021, and he only served 11 months. Now, of course, I'm reading this. This comes from Fox News, and we know how they do us. But this picture, this is his intake picture from prison, his booking photo. He's smiling like nothing happened. I never understood for the life of me why people smile when they're in jail. What's there to be happy about? Now, he might have some mental issues, which is why I always say a person is presumed innocent until proven guilty. That could be the case. I don't know more information, but yeah, and honestly, Sean, I don't, typically, and I say this, Black Americans, killing random people is not a crime we usually commit. I'm talking about like mass shootings.
Yeah.
That's not our style. This is him after his arrest. So this is the arrest warrant for an affidavit this is an affidavit of complaint, which is an arrest warrant. It was signed by Judicial Commissioner John Marshall. You can see here, which basically stated that Ezekiel had fired in the direction of a man by the name of Dewan Tunsil, and Kelly shot Tunsil in the head with a black colored handgun. 3 of the witnesses on the scene at the time Kelly shot Tunsil positively identified him from a 6-person photographic lineup as the person who fired the fatal shots at the victim. They say the witness, now here's the interesting thing, the witnesses are both friends of Kelly and the victim, according to this affidavit. Jeez. Now, I want to play the press conference from the mayor, and Sean, it's only 4 minutes because Sean, I want you to get ready, I guess, to give your take on this. I wanted to know what you think of it. So, but let's hear from the mayor first.
I want to first express my deepest sympathy and condolences to the victims and their families who are suffering from this senseless murder rampage. I am angry. I am angry for them, and I'm angry for our citizens who had to shelter in place for their own safety until this suspect was caught. This is no way for us to live, and it is not acceptable. The people of our city were confronted with the type of violence no one should have to face. Ezekiel Kelly was charged with criminal attempted first-degree murder, but pled guilty in April of 2021 to the lesser charge of aggravated assault. He was sentenced to 3 years, but only served 11 months in prison and was released on March 16, 2022, less than 6 months ago. These evil actions show why truth in sentencing is a must. And we should do all we can to make our city safe. We should not be terrorized by anyone. Anyone who wants to strike fear in our hearts and take away what we love about Memphis. We must unite around this principle and stand up to the challenge of violent crime in our city. If Mr. Kelly served his full 3-year sentence, he would still be in prison today, and 4 of our fellow citizens would still be alive.
I'm going to pause it right there. I want to know, Sean, what are your thoughts about this shooting? The mayor's comments, obviously, he's an opponent of recidivism and an opponent of, obviously, truth in sentencing. I don't know what his political affiliation is, but what do you think of what he's saying? And
Well, when I look at the whole situation, it definitely fits the pattern and profile for beta males. that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And when I look at the young man who participated in this shooting, he was what I call a ticking time bomb. And the scary part is we didn't know what he was going to do when he went off, but everybody knew he was going to go off sooner rather than later. I mean, the politicians knew that this guy was a clear and present danger, but the judicial system failed to keep this male off the streets. And that's what put all of these people in jeopardy
Chicago police.
with this mass shooter. This guy was a textbook example of what I talk about as related to beta males simmering and boiling in anger for extended periods of time. And he already exploded in rage in a previous incident. And that was a red flag to everybody to know that this individual was. But prosecutors failed to contain this individual. And that's why he went on another rampage and wound up taking lives. When I look at this whole incident, this is again something that fits in line with the man crisis going on here in America. And again, this male was a ticking time bomb. And the scary part is nobody took him seriously, just like we don't take all of these males seriously all across the country that are simmering and boiling in anger, sitting around doing nothing all day. And then they just get the impulse to go out here and murder people. And the people he murdered, most of them were people that he knew before he further went on his murder spree. And again, most people they thought, oh, we just let him go out here and think that he's not going to be a threat to anyone. But you have to take this beta male very seriously because this beta male, again, it's not a matter of if he's going to do harm to others, it's a matter of when. And it's just a matter of time before they go out here and wreak havoc on a community. And your Memphis is basically dealing with two of these beta males, one that just came out of prison from 20 years, and I got to do a video on that guy who murdered the heiress, and this guy. And again, it just shows how people are not taking the man crisis seriously in this country because the root of the cause of most of this crime is the man crisis and the dysfunctional way we have been raising boys to become men. Because only a dysfunctional male is going to go out here and believe, okay, it's fine for me to go out here and participate in a murder spree. Only a dysfunctional male who has been raised in a dysfunctional fashion goes out here and does these type of things because what these males really want to do is they believe they can't accomplish anything, so they want to go out in infamy by participating in a horrific act of violence. And that's what we're seeing a lot of these males looking to escalate their behavior because we in America, we're not taking the man crisis seriously. I mean, I have been reporting on events like this for the entire week, and it's just been one incident after the other. And sadly, nobody has connected the dots 5 years after I've written The Man Crisis in many of these public political platforms. Nobody's really connecting the dots, and nobody wants to connect the dots because one, we're going to have to hold the female accountable for the way she has raised dysfunctional males like this. And two, many in business in the state don't want to change the way they do business. But we have to do something because if we continue to go on this route, our civilization is going to collapse because these beta males are going to wreak so much havoc that you're not going to even be able to walk the streets. And that's the type of terror people are in right now in Memphis. They're practically in fear because you don't know when these guys are going to go off or what they're going to do. And this man practically held a city hostage. And what's really scary is we've got 2 to 3 generations of males like this. And if we don't do something about these males, they may not be a United States of America. We may be a fragmented state filled with fear.
Yeah. And I think another thing too, that is important, I would say that this points out, is how I always stress you have to stay ready so you won't be ready. And by that I mean stay ready means staying on guard when you have these mass shootings. People who are licensed to carry, people who have their concealed carry permit, you got to start exercising your Second Amendment rights. Know your local laws, get with gun clubs, know how to exercise your Second Amendment rights. Because this guy going in AutoZone just shooting somebody, I would have wished that there were a security guard or someone around that could have stopped him immediately when it happened. Um, And unfortunately, 4 people are dead and 3 people have been injured by this shooting by this lunatic. And again, he may have some mental issues. I don't know. We don't
I
know.
I believe he might have some. I mean,
I
from the
mean,
way
the way
his
he's smiling like that.
yeah,
If he isn't meant, either it's mental, either he's crazy,
or
he's
he's
on
been
drugs,
smoking.
or he's just evil, or maybe all of the above. I don't know. More has got to come out. He deserves due process like anybody else. Um, and we'll find out what happened. But he had obviously some other charges that was pending against him. But yeah, the big, he had a first degree murder charge, first degree murder on him. On this one, but before that, the attempted first degree murder. So yeah, but damn, Memphis was held hostage, for
Yeah,
the last few days. There's craziness that's going on, man. And then I think, also in Memphis, the death of that teacher. I'm sure you've heard of the teacher who was the heiress.
yes, I heard about that. I've been meaning to do a video on it, but I've been so busy with other man crisis videos, I haven't been able to get to her just yet.
Yeah,
I mean, they've been coming in. It's been frequent. I mean, there's been like 7 incidents, I think, in the last 7 days. And I had said that we're going to see an increase in frequency in this kind of violence, and we're seeing an increase in frequency to the point where it was practically one of these beta males going off practically every day.
yeah, yeah, man. The world is getting worse. Or is it that the world was just getting recorded? It's always been like this. One,
It's been like this for some time, but we haven't been reporting it like we used to.
now, I do want to point out that they're saying the district attorney's office out in Memphis has come out and said that Eliza Fletcher, who was a 34-year-old pre-K teacher at St. Mary's Episcopal School and the mother of two, and was kidnapped and killed. They say it was an isolated attack from that we're seeing here. According to Commercial Appeal, Shelby County District Attorney Steve Melroy said during a press conference Tuesdays that authorities have no reason to think this was anything other than an isolated attack by a stranger. Uh, I mean,
Yeah.
and they're charging this brother he was 38 years old. They say he's the one that's believed to have kidnapped and murdered her.
Yeah. And he's one of those ones, if the evidence can be proven, it's like one of those when I talk about my videos about the guys building the rose-colored world. He may have been stalking this woman for some time. This is just me speculating. He may have been stalking her for some time, and he had fantasies about her and he fixated on her, and that's why he went out here and targeted her. That's my hypothesis
Yeah.
for the motive for the murder, because when you have these beta males, they build worlds around people, they create fantasies around them, and then this is all part of their secret world. Now, this could be the case here with this guy, but I have to do a little bit more research before I say anything, because
Yeah.
these kind of guys, they're very dangerous, and I don't understand how if he was this dangerous, because he's already been out on kidnapping, why they let him out again. But maybe they let him out because his sentence was over. But this guy, based on the evidence, is a danger to everybody.
Mhm. She's the heiress of $1 billion fortune.
Yeah.
Her family, it looks like I'm reading here, their family owns a hardware company and it's worth $3.2 billion. And she's working as a teacher.
Well, she was one of those millionaires or those billionaires who thought she could be a part of normal society. But this would have happened to her, sadly, anyway, because when you're dealing with this beta male, he just is in his own world. He's just living a fantasy. And that's what makes him a dangerous individual to deal with, because he's not living in our world. He when he sees somebody, he fixates on them. He creates a world around them, and he wants them to fit into his rose-colored reality. And in that reality, he's really twisted, and he doesn't see a person as a person. He sees a person as an object in his fantasies, and he believes he has every right to harm somebody. And that's what makes these kind of guys really dangerous. And sadly, again, nobody's talking about these kind of guys because nobody wants to talk about the man crisis in this country, and we really need to start talking about it so we can start finding out the roots of what's causing these guys to be sick like this. Because this woman, she lost her life all because of this sick man and his sick ideas. And again, this man should have never been released from prison, as I saw it.
Well, let's bear in mind, Sean, he has not been convicted. He's presumed innocent
Yeah.
until proven guilty. I mean,
Well, I think I thought he had.
well,
the
I
whole-
think there's more to the story because for her to be killed and then dragged in an abandoned house like that, then the brother, they arrested him because the cops found he had drugs in the house. You know, something. There's more. There's got to be more to this. It's what I'm saying. So I just like to hear. Obviously, you know, he's going to have his opportunity in court to explain his side of the story if he admits to killing her. Although I believe they've reported the brother, they admit, and he did admit, I believe allegedly, to abducting her. And if he abducted her, what happened, so on. So maybe this could have been one of those cases where he saw somebody, like you said, couldn't have her and tried to have his way. I don't know. But we know this person is dead and he's been tied up to it. And just the fact that she's a billionaire heiress of Oracle, that's the name of the company, by the way. I do know, like, I believe one of the Rothschilds' daughters, which they have a bunch of Rothschilds, they are not connected with the family in any way. I believe one of them is actually married to an African or a black man, if I'm not mistaken. And she wanted nothing to do with the family. So that does happen as well. But, it's interesting. And more stuff is going to come out. So hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. You had other thing you want to add, Sean?
No, that's it.
Okay. Now, I want to talk about this in your neck of the woods. Steve Bannon, this is the next topic, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Bannon has been indicted out in New York. So Bannon, who was an advisor to Donald Trump back in when he was ran for president, became president, and still with him for a couple of years, has been indicted on counts of money laundering out in New York. According to this report from the New York Times, Steve Bannon, the self-professed populist advisor to former President Donald Trump, was accused by Manhattan prosecutors of defrauding Americans who wanted to contribute to construction of a southern border wall, resurrecting a threat that Mr. Bannon seemed to have escaped with a 2021 presidential pardon. Prosecutors say that Mr. Bannon, after a run as Mr. Trump's campaign chief and a White House official, played an integral role in the organization known as We Build the Wall, Inc. The group, whose president and most visible representative was a wounded veteran of the Iraq War, reaped millions through internet appeals, pledging to make the symbol of Mr. Trump's successful 26 campaign a reality. Instead, the prosecutors state that Bannon funneled over $100,000 in donations to the organization's president, Brian Kolfage, who has been repeatedly promised not to take, who had previously promised repeatedly not to take, I'm going to get it right, to take a salary. And the New York Attorney General, who is Letitia James, said that while Bannon had not represented himself as a patriotic volunteer fighting for ordinary citizens, he too personally profited. Now, the district attorney of Manhattan is a black man by the name of Alvin Bragg. And there's 2 felony counts of money laundering, 2 felony counts of conspiracy, 1 felony count of scheme to defraud. And he could face a maximum sentence of 5 to 15 years on the most serious charge. He was federally charged in relation to his activities, We Build the Wall, Inc. in 2020, but because he was pardoned by Donald Trump, before he went to trial, the Constitution prohibited him from facing any charges twice, from facing, didn't bar the indictment in state court, but I believe he got a pardon in federal court. So that stopped that. But as you know, it's 2 different There's two different jurisdictions, Sean. So you have the federal jurisdiction and you have the state jurisdiction, and those that look up, obviously, your 10th Amendment. You know, the state, it gives the states the rights of sovereign immunity, the right to run its bound borders and control its laws as fit. Although there's still full faith and credit in the Constitution that you have to apply and follow. So Mr. Bragg, a Democrat, said in Manhattan and in New York, you will be held accountable for defrauding donors. This is the same Bragg, if I'm not mistaken, that declined or didn't want to proceed with charges because of that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but when that Christian Cooper, that sissy, didn't want to press charges against that woman, was not Cooper, Bragg was the district attorney, if I'm
No,
not.
it was the guy before him. It was actually the Cooper didn't want to press charges. But
Cooper didn't want to press charges. That's correct, but I believe Mr. Bragg was an ADA there.
Yeah,
He was the district attorney at that
district
time.
attorney, I think, was Cy Vance at the time.
Cy
And then,
Vance Jr. Okay. So I apologize. Mr. Bragg wanted to, I believe, bring charges. He was a former federal prosecutor and a professor of New York law. Said the video provides sufficient evidence for prosecution. So he didn't want to bring these charges. My mistake. Although I don't know if he was in the office of the DA at the time. Looks like he was a professor of law at the time in 2021. Okay, I could be wrong. I guess I'm wrong. But my question to y'all, why, Bannon, of course, Bannon is, I'm not a fan of his either. He's a Breitbart asshole, if I'm not mistaken, huh? What do you think, Sean? Do you think this is politically motivated? You think they got something on Bannon? Obviously, he will not be pardoned by the governor of New York. I can say
no,
that much.
I do believe that there is some partisan politics, but I also believe that your Steve Bannon was not very smart because the whole scheme about selling bricks to people, that just really wasn't a kosher thing. And the whole thing is that when you're working with with the president, you don't get involved with little hustles like this because what people will do is try to use it as ammunition against you. And we know that there are many on the left who have what they call Trump derangement syndrome, and they want to get even with anybody associated with Donald Trump. And what the Steve Bannon did was he put a big target on his back. So this whole case basically is all part of the we hate Donald Trump witch hunt, and we have a lot of people with a vendetta. But we also have Steve Bannon, who also put himself in the line of fire by not really thinking critically about who he was getting involved with. Because again, getting involved with a scheme like this, it just doesn't fit the office of anybody working with the president. And this put him in the line of fire and to be targeted by crazy leftists who are just obsessed with getting anybody who's related to Donald Trump. And that's basically what this case is all is. They can't get Donald Trump, so they want to get the people who support him, and they want to make the people who they believe support Donald Trump pay. And that's just a completely backwards way of thinking because if you're just this obsessed with Donald Trump, then you're not really going to get objective justice as related to things. What they really want to do is take out the people who they thought were a part of the infrastructure for the Trump presidency, like Steve Bannon, try to discredit them and put them in prison. But the whole thing is that it's just like a hydra. The more heads you cut off, the more you create, and the more people that they look at this and they're just going to go, this is these leftists just being petty. And this divisive partisan politics is not beneficial for the left because it makes it look like you're just on a witch hunt looking to get anybody who was associated with Donald Trump because they're still hurting about losing in 2016.
Right.
And they're just deranged. They just have this guy, Donald Trump, in their head like a maniac. And it's just like something I tell my family all the time about beta males and how they will get so fixated on the one guy that they don't like who has the girl that they want. What they do is they start getting so fixated on this dude that they lose sight of themselves and they just wind up becoming their own worst enemy.
Well, I think that there is some truth that there's partisan politics there, and I think Steve Bannon is an asshole, me
He
personally.
is,
But
but he has constitutional rights as well.
he has constitutional rights like everyone else. Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm saying, and I think that there is some truth that is politically motivated. Uh, he is a flunky. I do think that you have the Attorney General Letitia James, who is we know is a staunch Democrat. Um, and we have this thing where they go at Donald Trump. I don't know if you noticed, Sean, but they presented Obama. The Obamas went back to the White House this past week, where their portraits were revealed, and Michelle Obama even took a shot at Donald Trump. And Obama praised Biden on his faith in our democracy.
They keep talking about democracy when the country's a republic. That really irritates me.
Yeah,
Democracy means everybody has a choice, and you just have to. You keep saying democracy because that's what LBJ said about Vietnam. We're fighting for democracy, but America, there's no democracy in Vietnam, and it was just your ideals, and it's your ideals are hurting real people.
yeah. And let's be real, when they were president and first lady in the United States, especially president, this man didn't do a damn thing for the people who still start who I think that support has wavered in recent times, but has done very little for this community. They didn't do anything for they did not do anything for the black man in America. They didn't talk all they didn't push was it was either women's rights, gay rights, it was immigration rights, it's everybody rights but yours. But you soon as you talk about this, Sean, especially when you deal with them church folk, you couldn't talk about Barack Obama bad in 2008 nor in 2012, even when he was leaving office. Now they got stuff to say. He even tried to said it would be a disgrace to my legacy if Donald Trump became president.
It was his legacy that led to Donald Trump becoming president because he didn't listen to anyone. He was detached from reality. He was detached from everybody. He was your classic beta male. I don't want to listen to anybody, and I think I know better than everyone. And he turned people towards Trump with his just complete detachment from reality. I think Gavin's system went down.
Yes, something happened. I'm sorry, y'all. So we're back. It looks like it was my internet. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to try this again. I just want to show. Yeah, they played. I'm just playing this little dig that Mrs. Obama took at Donald Trump. Watch this. So they didn't play the dig, but she basically stated. What she said essentially was, she spoke on the significance about the significance of the moment and the importance of participating and watching our democracy. She referred to the peaceful transition of power in a clear reference to the final months of the Trump presidency. She further said that those in power work and serve for as long as we can and as long as the people choose to keep us here, adding, once our time is up, we move on. Anything to say to that, Sean?
Well, I just say that the problem with them is they keep poking at the bear and they keep not letting things go. I mean, you got to know when to let things go and to move on. And the thing is that you have the left that's still, again, butthurt over losing 2016, and they keep trying to drop gasoline on this fire, knowing that it's polarizing and divisive, and it's just not necessary. I mean, all right, Donald Trump is out of office, but the more you attack him, the stronger you make him, because the whole thing is that the more you attack this man, the more you make him stronger, and he feeds off of your energy. But the whole thing is that these leftists, they don't know when to let go. I mean, I still think a lot of these people are still, again, butthurt over 2016, and even though your Joker Joe is in the White House, they're still smirting over losing in 2016, and they're still looking to continue to attack Donald Trump, thinking it'll get them brownie points with the American public. But the American public sees this juvenile behavior, and it's just not presidential. It's just not professional. And they just need to stop doing this stuff, because this is the kind of stuff that turned people into Trump supporters into 2016. And it led to people walking away because these people just continue to try to push buttons and try to agitate the other side. And it just isn't constructive. I mean, if you're really secure about winning and being confident, you're not worried about what happened in the past. You're going to focus on the future. You're going to focus on what you can accomplish right now and what direction you want to take the country in. And that's what your Michelle Obama and everybody, they're trying to bring them out to try to take jabs at Trump. But if I were in that same position, I'm not taking jabs at Trump. I'm focusing on the goals I want to accomplish and the agenda I want to lay out for my vision for the future for the country.
Yeah. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Cheryl Massey for the donation. Thank you for your contributions. Please donate to this channel, guys. You know our channel is not monetized. I'm still on a Rumble, and I've moved over to that. I have a video uploading, and I'm going to put some more stuff. I'm even going to go to the Patreon and upload some of my comedy set if you want to check it out. So you can please do that. We want to talk about this, right? I got one more topic after this. The Queen of England, dead at the age of 96. Now, your Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, has apparently bought the farm, battling illness. I'm gonna be serious. And of course, I have my thoughts on the British monarchy. But this, of course, was major news. I heard this earlier this afternoon that she had passed away. It says that they don't list the details, but according to the articles, it's especially if you read here, the Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon. The King and the Queen consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow. A statement from Buckingham Palace stated. So let's just go here. If you look at this,
as quiet, reliable. She reigned over a rapidly changing country in the last days of a once vast empire. And through it all, many people say that the Queen ruled with a steady hand and quite a devotion to the British people, always talking about her service to the nation. And her oldest son, Prince Charles, succeeds her now as Britain's new king. Mark Phillips now has the Queen's extraordinary life story.
She was not born to be queen, but she became so much more than the ceremonial head of state of a mid-sized European country. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor, Queen Elizabeth II, reinvented the British monarchy and may have saved it. Elizabeth was already 10 years old when another royal drama led to her becoming heir to the throne. In 1936, her uncle, Edward VIII, abdicated to marry the American divorcee Wallis Simpson, and the royal line shifted to her father, George VI, and so to her. The young Princess Elizabeth was already a public favorite. During the Second World War, she had worked to raise the country's morale, and she had also served as a volunteer in the war effort.
I am sure that you are often thinking of the old country to make the world of tomorrow a better and happier place.
Her marriage to Philip Mountbatten, an anglicized member of the deposed Greek royal family, gave a war-weary country something to celebrate. And the children the marriage produced, first Charles and then Anne, secured the future. Elizabeth's coronation in 1953 was the first ever to be televised. Its combination of ancient ceremony and glittering glamour cemented her as the personification of Britain's post-war rebirth. And it began a reign with a singular purpose.
I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service.
Elizabeth's reign would be the longest ever in a royal bloodline that goes back over 1,000 years. But the royal ride was sometimes bumpy. The stability and continuity the monarchy was supposed to provide began to look shaky as one by one the royal marriages broke down around her. Her sister, her daughter Anne's, her son Andrew's. They all ended in awkward divorces. None was uglier than the breakup of Prince Charles and Diana Spencer. The long public unraveling of the marriage of the heir to the throne seemed to shake the very foundations of the royal household. When, in the early 1990s, Windsor Castle also went up in flames, the Queen's famous stoicism was tested.
1992 is not a year on which I shall look back with undiluted pleasure. In the words of one of my more sympathetic correspondents, it has turned out to be an annus horribilis.
However horrible the year, the Windsor Castle fire and the public complaints over the skyrocketing repair costs produced a turning point in royal history. Monarchs normally collect taxes, but from then on, the Queen agreed to pay taxes on her income. Royal behavior was also changed by the shocking death of Diana in that Paris car crash.
Yeah, I remember that.
The national outpouring of grief seemed to highlight the emotional gap between the Queen and her people. Elizabeth did much to repair the damage with a single bow of the head to the passing coffin of a popular princess.
No one who knew Diana will ever forget her. Millions of others who never met her, but felt they knew her, will remember her.
There would be other challenges.
Now, I'm going to say this. Let me just go back. That thing with Diana was always suspect with her passing. And even William is the one married to Meghan, right?
Yeah. No, Harry's married to Meghan.
William is the oldest. Harry's the youngest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He even hinted that his mom was killed, if you remember a few years back. But Princess Diana was a people's person. Everybody loved her. She was nice. I'll say that much. She wasn't a royal. She wasn't from that bloodline, right?
No.
So she was different. But let's go ahead and there's your favorite, the Duchess of Ratchetness.
Not my favorite. She's just one that I like to roast up.
When Prince Harry's biracial American wife, Meghan Markle, complained of mistreatment by palace officials, the couple renounced the royal life and moved to California. When Elizabeth's husband, Prince Philip, who she had described as her strength, died, she was left alone to face the last chapter of her reign. Over 7 decades on the throne, Elizabeth redefined the monarchy, remade it for a more modern, less deferential age. And in the process, she became not just Queen of Great Britain, she became, in a way, Queen of the world. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
The Queen of the world? Oh, hell no. This is our queen. This is the only queen we recognize. Maybe occasionally Queen Latifah. The queen of the world. My ass.
They can get out of here with that garbage.
Yeah, she was the queen of the world. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, the world her and her ancestors dominated. Now, a lot of people may not know this, but Canada, if you live in Canada, you're subject to the monarchy. You know that?
Oh, I knew that from watching an old TV show.
You are subject to the monarchy, yeah. Now, of course, I do want to highlight something about Queen Elizabeth. Most people don't know that the Queen is an actress as well, and she's they missed this part actually, but we're gonna share this clip that we found that I want to share with you all right now, so you all can take a look at the Queen. This is how I think we all should remember Queen Elizabeth.
It's disgusting the way they splash this stuff all over the newspapers. What is journalism coming to? You're laying on top of the Queen with her legs wrapped around you. They call that news.
And she rest in peace with Leslie Nielsen. So, yeah. Yeah, well, you know, Leslie Nielsen's from Canada too. So, what you think of the Queen's passing, Sean, and your thoughts on it? I remember, and let me say this too about Princess Diana's passing. There was criticism about her because she didn't come out and address it immediately when Diana had passed, and there was a lot of criticism about it. You know, a lot, and I've stated before, a lot of people have their thoughts about Queen Elizabeth. But what are your thoughts about this, Sean, her passing?
Well, I am sorry to hear about the passing of Elizabeth as a human being, but as it relates to Black people, this doesn't really affect us in the least. I mean, yes, the matriarch of the first family of white supremacy has passed, but the whole thing is that, yeah, another member of the royal family has passed on, but the whole thing is it doesn't relate to us in any way, shape, or form. I mean, our issues are tangibles, and this doesn't relate to anything else at all. So, while I'm sorry that the Queen has passed from this life to the next, it's like when it comes down to Black folks, this isn't anything we need to be concerned about. So, when I think about the whole situation, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that she's passed. I'm sorry to hear that she's gone. My condolences go to her family, but my focus is on Black empowerment, and my focus is on Black people. And the first family of white supremacy, they can mourn their queen, but I'm focused on building up a better Black community.
Yeah, now you guys are going to fall with this, but I want to put this up. Tariq Nasheed was talking about this on his thread. Let me show y'all. Says some of you right now. Oh my. Wait, is this Portia from? It's not Portia from Real Housewives. She was commenting. Yeah, but this people. He says, somebody wrote, rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth. Y'all can't even see it, man. I'm sharing this. Rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth. Somebody put that up there. Yeah, I saw this one. Yeah, I was looking at this one. Y'all couldn't see it, but some woman named Portia Alexis said false. Luckily, most of FBAs are mourning the Queen with their international friends today. And Akata said, "Shut up! FBA's going about their lives. I just filled up my gas tank, fool."
It ain't got nothing to do with us.
Yeah, look at this. Jamaica government has announced a series of activities, including 12 days of mourning, to mark the Thursday's death of Queen Elizabeth II, who is the country's head of state. The period will be observed from September 8th through 19th. A day of mourning will be held on September 18th. Well, Jamaica is still tied to England. That's their head of state. You know, at one time, China was, which is the world's largest country, China was actually occupied by the British. Hong Kong, actually, the city of Hong Kong. I remember they got their independence. I remember they got their independence, I think, in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something else. Let me see. The colonial flag of Hong Kong from 1959 to 1997. Now, this is the history just of the British Empire, the impact that they've had worldwide. This was the flag of Hong Kong from 1959 to 1997. And they said colonial flag
Yep.
because it was colonized. I mean,
All right, I need a second. I'll be right back.
yeah, this is the British Empire. I want y'all to look at the maps. Everywhere you see territories were at one time or another a part of the British Empire. So we know, of course, Canada, the United States with the 13 colonies, Florida, the Bahamas, you know, Jamaica, obviously, British Honduras, the Mosquito Coast, Pitcairn. I ain't never heard of this island before, but okay. The South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands, Tristan da Cunha, Falkland Islands, St. Helena, Ascension Islands, Gold Coast, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Gibraltar, Ireland. Remember Ireland and Britain and IRA, they was always fighting with the British. Australia, of course, because you look at the Australian flag, national flag, it's the same bars and stripes, same colors as Britain. New Zealand, Fiji Islands, Tonga, West. This is what India, Burma, Hong Kong. I had said China. I didn't say, I shouldn't have said all of China, my bad. But Hong Kong, Cyprus, Akroti, and Dakilia, India, Burma. Yes, the India. So this is what this is what they did.
Okay, I'm back.
You see this map?
Yeah.
This is the entire British. This is everything that was a part of the British Empire. Now, for those, I'm not surprised by Jamaica doing it, guys. You got to remember they're still under still under British rule. So that so the Prime Minister of Jamaica making that announcement, you know, that doesn't surprise me. I get he has to do it because that's part of their monarchy and stuff, but hell, I'm not mourning over her. I mean, I'm not rejoicing in her passing because that's not what I do. That's just not me. But
Yeah.
it's just, I'm sorry.
This really this doesn't have anything to do with us as black people.
Now she meets the true king.
Yeah.
And she'll have to, if she, Any sins that she's done, just like all of us, even me included, we got to answer for. So, yeah, Australia. You have any more you want to add, Sean?
Nope, nothing here because this hasn't anything to do with black folks. This has to do with the first family of white supremacy. And they can go out here and mourn their matriarch, but we have a more important business to be focused on. So I'm not really focused on this at all. So it's
Yeah,
got nothing to do with us.
yeah. I remember when Diana died. Princess Diana, yeah, she was and like I said, she was cute. I ain't gonna lie. She was a nice woman. I liked her.
Yeah.
She was down to earth. She was a people's person. I don't care what color you're. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. And remember, she was messing with that Muslim.
Yep.
And a lot of people believe something happened with her death. There's been conspiracy. They call it conspiracy theories. They got a whole Wikipedia page. But it started because the Egyptian businessman Muhammad Al Fayed, his son was Dodi Fayed. He was Diana's boyfriend at the time. And it was rumored that she was pregnant with him. And apparently they said that the royal family did not want a you-know-what running around you-know-where.
Yeah. They did not want another mixed baby.
No, they didn't have the mixed baby then.
Yeah.
I remember Harry wasn't with, obviously, Meghan. That's why they came to America. She don't want to be in no plane. She don't want to be in no car accident.
Nope.
Wink, wink. That's me. But a lot of people feel that way. But that's Muhammad Al Fayed. So he always believed that Diana was killed. Diana and his son were killed because of that. He claimed that the MI6 were acting on the instructions of Prince Philip.
That would be quite scary.
Now, he got sued for those. He got sued for those remarks in a libel action because of that. But I think to this day he still believes that. And obviously, as a father, you're always going to think that, you will never get over losing your child. So
Nope.
that's the worst thing in the world. So he thinks, because even with that, now they said there was no evidence to support that Diana was illegally involved in order to cover up a pregnancy. They also accepted that there was no evidence to support the assertion that the French emergency and medical services had played any role in a conspiracy to harm Diana. But the father just gave up and said he was abandoning his campaign.
Out of nowhere. Well, I guess he feared for his life.
But this is a multi-billionaire.
He is, but money means nothing to the first family of white supremacy. White supremacy doesn't care about your money.
It's basically like Yellowstone. If you've ever seen that TV show, the Duttons that run, of course, it's a smaller version of the British monarchy family. But if you watch that show Yellowstone, and I do, it's a Western, neo-Western series, and it's about a family that owns the largest ranch in the United States. And John Dutton is the one who owns the ranch, and he has altogether 3 children. Well, he has 4, but he has 3 now. And basically, he rules it with an iron hand. And anybody that tries to steal his land, anybody that comes off it, they are dealt serious consequences. But it's a powerful show. I like it. Well, let's move on, Sean. I do want to talk about this last thing because it was in here. I wanted to know, and you have not seen this, but your thoughts about the Aries Spears Tiffany Haddish skit. Now, what has happened is that back in 2014, it appears that a sketch and it was uploaded to Funny or Die. It looks like Aries Spears apparently was the one who created the skit, but he acted along with it with your Tiffany Haddish. The skit was entitled Through the Eyes of a Pedophile. Now, I really don't want to play the video, but what happened is that according to the lawsuit of Jane and John Doe, they were 14 and 7 at the time. They were a part of the sketch. Apparently, Tiffany Haddish was friends, according to what we've seen in the preliminary reports, with the children's mother. Her name is Taziria Morris. I hope I'm getting that right. And as a result of this film, and you look at the footage, and I'm just describing it to you, but you can look at it even though it's covered up. Aries Spears plays this uncle that has to babysit these kids while Tiffany Haddish, as the mother, goes out to party, right? And
Yeah.
she brings the kid down in nothing but his underwear.
This is getting kind of creepy.
Yeah, it is. And in the sketch, Aries Spears is watching the kid and has a newspaper. You never saw the skit, never heard about the story.
No.
Okay, but he's watching the kid basically through the newspaper while R. Kelly song comes on, Bump and Grind. He's watching him through the newspaper, and there are several scenes where this child is playing with a choo-choo train. And at one point, he's holding it like a dick. And then in another scene, they're showing close-ups of his underwear and so forth. So it was just that alone was too much for me. When I saw him looking through the peephole like that, and it was just too much. Now, I'm for comedy. I've written sketches before. I've told people this, and I can tell you a lot of those skits that are filmed, you see them on YouTube because during that time and era, and Sean, you know this, a lot of
Yeah.
people started doing sketches when YouTube blew up. And that's how a lot of people started, obviously, their names. A lot of people have made a lot of money from doing skits because they get advertisements now. They get deals to do certain things. And at that time, in fairness, Tiffany Haddish was not a known person, but she was doing other skits with Aries Spears, and Aries Spears is the one who played the uncle. And they did skits like a Bill Cosby skit, and Aries Spears basically plays Bill Cosby, and he does creepy shit. Now, I'm not gonna play the video because I don't want copyright strike, but this is one of the skits that he did. You can just look at it. It's Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish, and he's trying to put his pudding pop. Goes on a date with her and try to get more out of it. You can leave your imagination to what's going on. But this was in 2014, and I'm sure that skit was in 2014. And Sean, you know this as well. They have always had sketch comedy shows that have gone out of their way to push the envelope, movies that do pedophile jokes. Now, of course, I have to say and talk about this. The Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears, they've denounced these allegations. They say it's an extortion attempt. I did read that the mother was actually was still hanging out with Tiffany Haddish, according to the reports, even after they recorded this stuff. She still hung out with him. So let me get your thoughts because you're not. I guess does that give you an idea of what we were talking about? If
Yeah,
you understand. So I wanted to know what your opinion was. I thought you had actually heard about it, but
I
apparently,
haven't. I've been so busy with the Kickstarters and the Woman Crisis. I haven't really heard much about the entertainment industry outside of things here and there. But I just find such a sketch to be completely tasteless, and it just wasn't be a good idea to even do this thing as a certain kind of comedy. I mean, as a guy who writes comedy, I've written comedy in All About Nikki, and I write it in the East Team series. I mean, sometimes I do raunchy jokes here and there, but I always would avoid any kind of jokes that involve pedophilia because I always felt that was going too far. And I believe your Ari Spears and your Tiffany Haddish, they went too far by trying to do this comedy sketch. I mean, this comedy sketch, as I see it, is just going too far. It's just not something that I would believe would be appropriate to do because pedophilia does damage to children's lives. I mean, this is an act of criminal behavior, and I wouldn't think that criminal behavior would be something anybody would find amusing, especially those who have become the victims of sexual abuse and sexual molestation at the hands of a pedophile.
let me
I
ask
mean,
you, let me stop you right quick, Sean. As someone is a screenwriter, does that mean then no artist can write a story or movie, for instance, about a pedophile? For instance, you had the movie Last House on the Left that was about a girl who was left abandoned by a group of criminals and raped by them. Do you
it's
think?
not material I would want to write. It's not material I would
So
want
what I'm
to.
asking is, do you think people should be barred from doing stuff like that?
I wouldn't say that they should be barred because our Constitution allows for free speech if that's what you want to do. But I'm not doing it. I'm not touching it
Yeah,
because that's just it's going too far for me. I mean, if somebody were
sure.
to say that they wanted me to write that kind of material, I'm gonna have to walk away from that organization or that individual, even if they're paying lots of money, because that goes against my moral code. And I'm not going to engage in writing that kind of material because to me, that's just absolutely disgusting as I see it. I
Right.
mean, for
And what
me,
made it worse, let me just tell you this, it got worse because as the skit goes on, there's multiple vignettes. One is when they're in the living room. I was telling you about that. The other one, it takes place in the bathtub when he actually attempts and later on gets in the bathtub with this kid. And then the final sketch is what I explained to you. They've switched it where the boy is now looking at his uncle in a sexual manner. And I understand. I'm a sketch writer myself, and I support free speech. And let me be clear, Sean, because there have always been in Hollywood, and everybody knows this, there's always been pedophilia that's been around. There's always been movies. I saw jokes about it. Look at the movie Airplane, when the little boy is in the cockpit and Peter Graves' character asks him, "Have you ever been in a cockpit before, son?" "No, I haven't even been in a plane." "You ever seen a grown man naked?" They would throw stuff out there like that. Uh, Same thing later on in the film. You ever seen movies about gladiators? The little girl who asks them when the boy brings the cup of coffee, "Hey, do you would you like some coffee or sugar with it?" "No, I'll take it black like my men." So they've always done stuff like this. Even look at the scary movie films. They had pedophilia jokes with the Catholic priest that came to babysit the kid. I wonder where Cody got that rash from. And the priest, moves his eyes like that. So they, and you didn't think about it because it would go over your head. And, I'm not going to say as comedians what they can and can't say, but for me, my taste, I thought this sketch went too far. But Tiffany Haddish, there was another skit with the girl where they're saying, and I didn't see this, but she tries to teach the girl and a boy to eat a sandwich at the end like it was a penis, like performing fellatio. Uh, so I mean, and Brian, shout out to my man Brian Pounder, the attorney. He's watching from Atlanta. What's going on, brother? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, it was a sick sketch. But Sean, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but yeah, man, I wanted to just make that point. But go ahead and finish your point, brother.
Well, I just feel that this is not the type of comedy I want to do. I don't find anything really funny about it. I don't find this to be entertaining in any way, shape, or form. I mean, anything that involves the sexual violation of children or the sexual fetishization of children is off limits for me. And I don't see that as comedy. I mean, I can make fun of all other sorts of situations, and as a comedy writer, I don't when I think of things that are funny, it's like something that I don't have to go into that zone, because to go into that zone, I mean, that's the zone of the sexual deviant, and you have to be a certain kind of sick to get into that. So if somebody's writing stuff like that, I'm gonna have to give them the side eye, because it looks like you need some help, because only Arkham certified types are out here writing stuff where they're putting children in jeopardy like that. And only Arkham certified types think that this is entertaining, because that's not how I can would go out here and get a laugh, because I know that there's a better way to get a laugh and a more positive way to get laughs than going out here and trying to make fun of something that isn't funny for those who are victims of abuse like this.
And let me say this: of course, Tiffany Haddish, she's now tried to distance herself from this. Obviously, she stated that she regrets doing the skit. She had actually, her publicist or spokesperson even came out and said they tried to get Aries, who owned the footage, to stop releasing the film. But my whole thing, and here's some questions we got to ask, is this, and the main thing I have to say is, what is the mother doing still hanging out with her after they recorded this? And she's saying, you know, her son was crying, you know, in the petition. She asked, what did y'all do to my kids? What did y'all do subsequently after this? And there's obviously some proof that they were still hanging out. And it's been reported that Aries Spears had actually gave him some money just to let him alone. But I have to, when I look at the blame on this, it starts with at home first. It starts with the mom, because another, you know, in law, and you know this, Sean, if there are children that are filming anywhere, especially in California, and they have these laws, there are labor laws that are in place. Now, of course, with sketches, because I think this was a quick camera sketch, which everybody can do from their phone. Even now, you got this on your phone, you can do a sketch. It doesn't take much, and you can avoid paperwork and monies, extra monies, to do stuff like this. But he went completely overboard with something I didn't find funny. Most people didn't find funny. But I will say this: the video was already uploaded on Funny or Die, and it had been out there. Nobody said anything, and I think part of this has to do with Tiffany had blown up. Now, and I think there's some a money scheme involved. I saw later on as I was petition, they're saying the mother tried to settle the suit for $15,000. What? She wanted $50,000 for alleged child molestation? Really?
Yeah, it's sad to see parents pimping their kids out like that.
But that's what they do. It's with R. Kelly. It's the same thing with Jerry. It doesn't. Jerry Lewis, Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones, the Ted Nugents. They pimp these kids out. Trizia Morris is the mother. Yeah, their siblings also said their mother tried to reach a $15,000 settlement with Spears over the alleged molestation video. Now, I will say this. I don't know Tiffany Haddish. I took a picture with her, and she was nice to me. I don't know. And like everybody else, and I said before, everybody's presumed innocent. I believe they had looked into this matter already, and they didn't press charges. And you know, I don't know if they plan on reopening the case or whatever, because you know, California, and it is important to note, Sean, California does have that new law in place where you can, even if it's obviously 40, 50 years ago, a la Bill Cosby, you can come back and sue someone if you were a minor. So that is true, but where were the adults behind this?
That's a question I like to ask.
But I fault Aries, and to some degree, yeah. I mean, Tiffany, she had to, and even Tiffany, because she had to have been aware of this. As somebody that's written sketches before, when we did the sketch for Laugh Now, Laugh Later that I wrote, and I played the character in it. We had to actually go, and I have to email obviously the director of that sketch, and the actors and actresses get a copy of it so they can go over it. So I don't think they did it in pieces. It wouldn't make sense to just do a sketch and do it in pieces and send one piece to Tiffany and one to Aries. What's the skit about? And most importantly, who paid them?
That's a good question to ask too.
Were the kids paid for this? Was the mom paid for this? We all gotta, we gotta ask that. But it was sad to watch. It was sickening more than anything. But I want to make this, and there is a valuable point I think from this video we can learn from. First and foremost, they are in their own PSA. At the end, they say, "Watch who you leave your kids with." Well, I think that's a valid point. But now, in irony, it's really more about this woman's kids being watched with them. The message that they were trying to say, if it was a PAC, it backfired. And then another thing we can learn is, listen, don't compromise your morals for money. Don't compromise who you are to get ahead. And I know Tiffany may have was a struggling actress and comedian at that time, but here's the thing: you're a millionaire now. With this video, sadly, she could possibly lose everything she's had. That she worked for.
Could lose her whole career.
Right. It's the same thing like putting on a dress. Yeah, I put on this dress and I got paid, but now I got to live with the fact that as a man, I humiliated myself, especially as I get older, that I was in a dress. What are my kids and my grandkids going to think? You're going to have to live with that. And I'm not trying to say that people can't make mistakes and be forgiven. We should be if we're sorry for something, and if we mess up, just like I have messed up. Maybe not like this. I never did a sketch like that. But when you mess up, and I'm just talking in general, because we have people who have murdered people, Sean, that have turned their lives around, that have done the right thing. So it is possible. It is possible. And I do think that, yes, is it possible this could be about extortion? Sure. Of course. I like to know more facts, but just the preliminary stuff we've gotten has not been good. But even for this mother, because if she's still hanging out with Tiffany Haddish after this, and you allegedly said were upset with her, and she's a comedian, from what I'm reading, she's a comedian herself out in LA. She and Tiffany came up together. It sounds like she wanted Tiffany to stay around so she could advance her career. So, but don't compromise yourselves, guys, if you can. You got to believe if you're going to be a millionaire. You got to believe it. You got to push it. Like, I believe I'm going to be a millionaire one day. I'm claiming it I'm claiming it now. Something going to pop. Something is already popping off. I got comedy shows I'm promoting and producing. I have books I've written. You gotta keep grinding.
That's what you got to do.
That's all life is. I mean, and unfortunately, they got some who know people, and yeah, they got some who catch a break sooner than others. But if it's something you want to do, you just gotta be persistent with it. But and most importantly, don't record shit that might get you in trouble. Don't do shit that might get you in trouble. Well, we're gonna wrap it up, man. But you have anything else you want to say?
No, that's about it. I just find this sketch to be disturbing and tasteless, and it's not going to be the kind of thing that really is going to help either one of these comedians' reputation. I mean, there's things that are funny, and then there are things that are not funny. And talking about pedophilia, that's not funny.
Yeah, yeah. If you look at Saturday Night Live, they actually had a sketch called Canteen Boy. Did you ever see that where Adam Sandler is a Boy Scout and Alec Baldwin is making passes at him?
Nope, never saw that one.
Really?
Nope.
It's one of their more popular sketches. I'm surprised you never. Well, I'm not surprised, Sean, it's you, because you don't watch. I know you don't watch TV, but yeah, this was the old sketch that they did. I bring it up because Harvey was talking about child molesting robot that the sketch The Rock did. What they were going for is shock value with stuff like this. Now, of course, the difference between this and Aries, you see Alec Baldwin hugging Adam Sandler. These are adults, so I get it. But they even got complaints for doing this. Even with Mad TV, they had a skit called Ink Blots where there was a senator who kept seeing naked boys. That was played by David Herman, and Orlando Jones was playing the artist. So they've always done stuff like this, man. But I guess it's different. It was more graphic with seeing children.
Yeah.
Call that one Sunscape.
Really? I thought it might be called Naked Sexy Boys or Young Boy Succumbs.
But that's what you see, Senator. But what I see is a calm sunset over a tranquil meadow.
Hey, don't you hand me any of that artsy-fartsy psychobabble. This pornography is full of cavorting young naked boys.
You see whatever you want to see.
And why would I want to see naked boys?
You tell me.
Oh, now this one's just plain sick.
That one's called Puppies, Puppies, and More Puppies.
Well, why don't you call it what it is? Naked boys, and more sweaty, glistening naked boys!
Senator, why don't we just put the ink blots aside for a moment? I also happen to be a classically trained artist, and I think you would definitely appreciate some of my more traditional work.
Oh, my God. What in Sam Hill do you call this? Naked boy parade?
Senator, it's a landscape. Where do you see naked boys?
Where don't I see naked boys? Yeah, behind the tree, there's a naked boy. In fact, the whole tree's a naked boy. My God, if I didn't know better, I'd say the whole thing's one big naked boy.
I do not paint naked boys.
Well, all I see is naked boys. And what I see, America sees. And I will not have this country looking at sexy, smooth, luscious, young naked boys, at least not in publicly funded museums, Mr. Squid.
Don't you think you're overreacting, Senator Hodgkins?
I am not a pedophile! But you, sir, are a degenerate. And this committee does not dole out money to perverts. We are here to support the arts, and I do not believe you even know what art is.
Well, I think I do know what art is.
Oh, no, you don't. Look here. I'll show you what art is. This is a bust of Elvis Presley, made out of spent shotgun shells and cigarette butts. Now that is art, not these centerfolds you're trying to pass off as paintings. Now I suggest you get out of my office.
I would be more than happy to.
Well, hold it. I'm going to confiscate these. So I'm going to need them later for a little masturbate. A master class in art.
That's Mad TV.
Why don't you get out of here before I'm shot in the larynx?
See you at the Guggenheim, Senator.
Yeah, well, same to you, commie. Layla, I'm gonna need you to hold on my calls. I'm gonna be in here doing a little research.
That's Mad TV, and that coincidentally, that's what how Aries Spears got his big break on that TV show. That's what he's known for, and I actually, I used to watch Mad TV. In Living Color, I showed everybody last week, this past Tuesday, the Woody Allen sketch where he's on the island in Vietnam trying to get more girls. So people have always joked about it, but when you involve real children, and the way the skit was done was more graphic than this, so it just was, and some people still will find something like that, Sean, to be uncomfortable and not funny. There are people who wouldn't like the skit we just saw, but you know, well, Sean, why don't you plug in a book?
Well, you guys can all pre-order The Woman Crisis on Amazon Kindle, Smashwords, Barnes & Noble, the iBookstore, and Google Play. The Woman Crisis will be available on November 29th, and I want everybody to be able to get their digital copies, so you can put in your pre-orders now, and you can get The Woman Crisis, which is the companion to The Man Crisis, at all online booksellers everywhere. So the pre-order for The Woman Crisis is at every online bookseller, and you can put in your pre-order right now to get your copy.
Get The Woman Crisis, your pre-order for The Woman Crisis. I'm going to get mine. I got some more reading to do. I'm going to finish your book, actually. I'll try and finish it over the weekend. And also, Sean, I want everybody, speaking of books, you can support me by purchasing one of my books, or purchasing The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby on Kindle. The book is available on Kindle, ladies and gentlemen, so please do that. I will have a hard copy for it. I've been trying to, had an issue uploading it. I will try and do it over the weekend for sure, to make sure it's possible, and get my ISBN number. I only have the Amazon Kindle number for the Kindle book, but that's sufficient, huh, Sean?
Yeah. Amazon's paperback also will give you a ISBN, so you would have that as well.
Yeah. And it comes from the Library of Congress. So when things are copywritten, but things are automatically copywritten once you put it in a tangible medium, right?
Yep.
So
once you make fixed tangible form, it's already copyrighted.
yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We also want you to support Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com. Go to Amazon. Go to Nawny's Creole Blends. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawny's goes great with every dish. Now, if you missed out on your Labor Day weekend, some Nawny's, you were in trouble. However, if you are in the South, just like me, it is never ever too late to barbecue. So you go ahead and get you some good old-fashioned Creole seasoning blends, ladies and gentlemen. And now, before we move on, I also want you to, I know Danielle, she didn't like that skit. I want you to support us as well by going to the Cash App, Google Pay, PayPal, and Zelle to support. I know I gotta roll out. I want to roll out in a minute. But I don't want to take any calls right now. But we'll take some calls on Sunday. Some more calls and what you think about what's going on in the world. And also, you can buy and check out our music like Video Soul and buy Gotta Get On Up. Sean, do you have any last words?
Nope, that's it.
What will the show be about tomorrow, about your live stream?
Well, the show will be a birthday live stream, and I'll be talking about this whole new soft girl thing going on in the Black community.
Oh, yeah, let's all sing happy birthday to Sean, ladies and gentlemen. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sean J. Happy birthday to you. The Aaron Neville version. Happy birthday, Sean.
Oh, thank you.
You have anything planned?
Not really. I mean, I got some errands to run. I might head over to the ice cream store, That's about it.
Yeah. Sean is going to take a critical examination of his 47th trip around the sun. And when he takes a critical examination of your birthday, we must say that it comes from a gynocentric place of medium that has taken over the entire United States and has been the worse for the better. I just think it's something you would say. But happy birthday, brother. Please enjoy it. Many more.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's get on out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we're going to get on up. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Brian. Brian, it's a pleasure to see you. I hadn't seen you in a while on the channel, man, but thank you. I'm glad you were here. Darius from Atlanta, Jacoby, just a bunch of people, Tyree and Bernard, Brother Bernard. I know he's going to say some stuff about that skit on his show. I hadn't seen Bernard in a while, but I hope he's doing good, man. All right, well, let's get on out of here. Let's get on up on out of here. Let a bon temps rouler. We're going to let the good times roll. So thank you all. This has been a great show tonight. And hey, we ended before 10 o'clock.
11.
My time.
Oh, 10 o'clock your time, 11 my time.
Yeah, I know you like to get out of here because I got work in the morning as well. So, all right, y'all. We love you. We'll be back. We'll be back on Sunday. You'll be back, and just make sure you go to the Patreon too. You go and subscribe to the Patreon as well, because you know this channel, it doesn't get monetized. You know, it doesn't get monetized. You know, I can't buy my cigars and it can't be the Patreon. You just go to the Patreon, donate. Don't do it. Do it now. All right, let's go on and get on up. Because right now the party's wasted. I just hurt my throat doing Arnold. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat. Because on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the... Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the... Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up, baby. Gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Yes, we found the groove. Yeah, you can feel it all in your muscles. You know it's got the ache. If you remember, no pain, no gain, right? Yeah. You got to feel the groove. Get on it. Run, do 10 squats. Do 100 squats a day. You get like Arnold. Yes, we can do the Predator. I want to do Predator 3. I want to do it. I get to do it now before I get old. My balls are already dropping and stick to my leg and down.